When it comes to pro audio, the folks at Memphis have been hard at work, crafting the best possible products and constantly evolving with the trend. Now, pro audio is a category that's certainly been growing, and the versatile mix of product that Memphis Audio brings to the table is no laughing matter. Today, we've got their president, Nick Lomonaco, joining us to give us all the details on this amazing catalog of product specifically engineered for pro audio. This is CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM for Memphis Audio for Pro Audio. And it starts now. What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. We're talking pro audio with the folks at Memphis, more specifically, Mr. Presidente himself, Mr. Nick Lomonaco. Nick, welcome back to the show. What can we expect to go over on today's episode?
Hey, Ben, we're here to talk about our super versatile mix of pro audio products, from entry level to high end and everything in between. Very excited to go over and really talk about pro audio and how awesome it is.
All right, Nick, we're going to get into it. But first, an opportunity for our partner, SiriusXM, to remind you just how great of an ad-on sale it always is. And when we come back, we've got Nick Lomonaco in the studio. Don't you dare go away.
Hi, Paul Truman here with SiriusXM. We reached out to some of our partners in the industry, and here's what they had to say.
I can't say more or enough about just what it means to have our unit working with SiriusXM. It's like we're there now.
The SiriusXM service is something consumers want, right? So it's Paul.
That allows a consumer to listen to either podcasts, entertainment, sports, all at their fingertips. It's all about engagement, and that's what SiriusXM provides.
SiriusXM is a huge component in a vehicle nowadays. Consumers expect that technology to be available both in our OEM system as well as the aftermarket upgrades that they're applying to their vehicle.
Alpine and SiriusXM, through our electronics, are able to offer the consumer on the aftermarket side SiriusXM 360L, which is an expanded platform for SiriusXM. And it's really been a beneficial relationship for us with SiriusXM.
As a dealer, just remember, we don't compete with anybody else. We are absolutely one of the best profitability accessories you can add to any head unit that is SiriusXM ready.
And welcome back to the show. All right, we're getting into it right away with Nick Lomonaco from Memphis Audio. Now, Nick, for some viewers out there, pro audio is kind of a gray area. You know, it depends on where you are, where you're tuning in from. But know that pro audio has been quite the development when it comes to the subcategory of car audio. I'm hoping you can share with us a little bit about your experience, both on a personal level, but also for the brand Memphis when it comes to the pro audio culture.
Yeah, Ben, pro audio has grown exponentially over the last 10 years, or really over the last 3 or 4. Probably right before COVID is when we really started to see an uptick in pro audio. And for us, I mean, more and more customers today are kind of going back to the old school where being loud was cool. And that is pro audio. So, I mean, to me, the pro audio culture is fun, loud, exciting. I've had it in my vehicles before. The MEMFUEGO box was something we came up with because we just wanted to be loud and cool. And so I think pro audio is helping bring back the cool factor to car audio that we might have been missing over the last 10 or 15 years. So very excited to talk about, very excited to listen to, very excited to see more and more pro audio getting installed in vehicles today.
Now, Nick, you mentioned versatile mix, and that's something I want to really point out here before we get into individual products. You know, there are a lot of brands out there that do pro audio, and I would say that when it comes to pro audio, most brands start in, that standard 6.5-inch kind of driver, really efficient, and we're going to get into that. But something to point out here is if you're serious about pro audio, Memphis does offer a complete line beyond just speakers. I'd like for you to touch on that real quick.
Yeah, Ben, we have everything from multiple series and a best better to sizes, to a la carte, to components, to subs, to standalone full range boxes. We have a little bit of everything. So whether you just want a 6.5-inch pro audio driver, we've got that in a better and a best. That includes a waterproof version. If you want high powered amplifiers to get all those mids screaming and subs blasting, we've got that in the pro audio world. We've got pro audio subs to keep up with those incredibly loud, efficient highs. And then we have even a standalone box with 2 10s, 2 tweeters ported with LEDs that just you can plug it in anywhere and it'll rip your face off in a tailgate, just in the back of your truck, driving around, or even in the back seat of your car. So from multiple levels to multiple sizes to different products. We have a very, very versatile lineup, whether you want to put 7 mids in your door, do a component swap in the front doors, or add 4 12s in the back. We've got the amplifiers and components to do it.
All right, it's time to get into this versatile mix of components and parts. So let's start with the mids and highs. Obviously, this is probably where most people are going to start, Nick. And within the Memphis lineup, obviously, one of the ones that are go-to, especially for the price point, and that's something to be said about that as well. A lot of these components that we're discussing today are very aggressively priced, which is an attractive thing, especially for perhaps new customers. But we'll get into that a little bit later on. Let's get into the SRXP drivers.
Yeah, our SRX Pro audio drivers are the entry level to our pro audio market, but we don't call them entry level. They're our better and best lineup of pro audio. So in our lineup, we have 2 different levels of the SRX Pro as well. We have 6.5 and 8-inch mids, and then we also have a 2-way we call WT with tweeter. So we take a look at that. I've got 2 of the speakers here. I have a 6.5 and a 6x9. So you've got that horn-loaded tweeter coming through the middle of that mid. So you're going to get that screamy mid and then also that horn-loaded tweeter. We're Memphis, so we got to add those LEDs. That adds another, yep, you're right, 3 to 6 dB. But some of the other designs of this speaker is, if we turn that speaker sideways, you can see that it's not very deep. So we designed this so it does, in fact, fit in a Harley fairing if you wanted to add pro audio to your Harley, but also it fits in the majority of factory 6.5 locations. And if it is a little bit too deep, with some slight modification, you can get it fit in there. So our goal is to provide a price point that allows people new to the category or maybe don't have a big budget to get a loud, awesome sounding system, even if it's just putting speakers in the factory locations. We allow them to take with a 6.5, 6x9, or 8-inch speaker to replace those factory spots and really get the output they're looking for. And the SRX Pro with, like I said, the regular mid or the coax is a great starting point. And honestly, some people love this speaker and they just keep adding more. They don't even jump to the next level. They love the SRX. So I would say it's our entry level price point into pro audio, but don't call it entry level.
As per usual, very nice aesthetics, Nick. Great job on the design. I love the grills as well and the lit up horns. I mean, who doesn't like that? But again, great price point, very efficient speakers. Will run on deck power and even perform even better if you put some power to it. We'll talk about some amplifier options shortly. Now, you mentioned something earlier about a party in the box, which I've had the chance to see in person. And this thing is literally a cube of fun. This can go anywhere and it plays loud. It's literally the all-in-one solution to get the party started right now. It's called the MEMFUEGO box, unless you've been sitting under a rock. But there's some new updates to it that I want Nick to kind of touch on.
Yeah, Ben, the MEMFUEGO is a super awesome addition to the line. We've had the regular MEMFUEGO box for a couple of years now, and as you said, you've got to see it and hear it, and it sounds incredible. It is a party in a box. And this year we have come out with a new version of that. We've listened to our customers, we got the feedback from our customers, and now we have the second version of the MEMFUEGO. And the first thing you'll notice about this thing is it's the same size, but now we have that weather resistant paint, that bed liner around it. So if you do put this in the bed of a truck or have it sitting outside, it's going to be a lot more resistant to the elements. And then we've also added a quick release on the back there with the for the RGB and the speaker inputs. So makes it super easy to move, take it in and out. If you're at a car show and you want this on the ground behind the car, if you want it in the car only when you're at a car show to add to the output while you're in the vehicle, you can do that. Of course, still keeps the nice handle on the back, making it easier to carry around, to move it around, because we know this box gets moved from time to time. And then the beautiful CNC MEMFUEGO in the top, and then you see the 2 10s and 2 tweeters up front. Tons of LEDs. You got the dust cap lighting up, tweeters lighting up. You got the ring under the speakers lighting up. There's lights everywhere on this. The box is ported and specifically tuned to get the maximum output. So even though these are pro audio mids, you get a pretty good amount of low mid bass out of this box, and it absolutely screams. Honestly, most people look at this and go, wow, what is that? That's ridiculous. Then you turn it on and they're like, okay, I want one of those. I don't even know where I can put it right now, but I want one because it sounds so good. So this has been a fun addition to the line. kind of showing some of the commitment Memphis has to the pro audio category, coming out with unique stuff like this. So if you've not had the chance to listen to the Memfuego box, I highly recommend you give it a listen.
So, like I said, Nick, as you can see, guys, this is absolutely a party in the box. This thing is so loud. It's unbelievable that it's coming from something. I mean, it's not that it's small, but it's crazy to hear the type of output this thing does when you get a chance to audition it in person. Now, just for stats sake, what kind of power would we expect to optimize the performance out of this box?
Well, the box has two speaker terminals on the back. Basically, you've got one mid and tweeter on each terminal. Um, It'll handle up to 500 watts per mid and tweet. So you got, 500 by 2. But really, the perfect marriage for this box is our MOJO Pro 800.4 amplifier. So you bridge that, you're going to get 400 watts into each of those terminals and really have this the Memfuego box screaming. So that really is the perfect marriage, that amplifier with the Memfuego box. But you just got to get it a ton of power and make it scream. It's going to be loud with a little bit of power. It just gets stupid loud as you go up in power. But the MOJO Pro 800.4 is the perfect amplifier for this box.
And on that note, Nick, our next topic is, of course, the very popular MOJO Pro amplifiers. Yes, a Pro series of amplifiers designed specifically for Pro audio. A couple of models to choose from here. I love the OG classic look. But Nick, talk to us a little bit about the breakout of the models and some of the features that the MOJO Pro amplifiers have that really have made them so popular.
Yeah, Ben, when you combine the words Mojo and Pro for Pro audio, you got to have a ton of clean power. So that's where we came out with the MOJO Pro amplifiers. This has been our most successful amplifier launch possibly in the history of the company. We outsold our forecast by 3 or 4 times when we first launched this product because it was so well liked. So taking a look at these amplifiers, we went with an old school look because, like you said, kind of Pro audio is kind of bringing back that old school. Big aluminum heat sinks to really dissipate that heat. So it's producing a lot of power. We need a lot of aluminum to dissipate that power to keep the efficiency up on these amplifiers. You got that MOJO orange running through the middle of the amp. And what Phil has there is the MOJO Pro 800.4. As I mentioned earlier, that is the perfect amplifier for the Memfuego box. But it's also a ton of power for those Pro audio mids, whether you're going to use a component set, a bunch of individual drivers. You got 200 watts by 4 channels. So this amplifier is perfect for driving those Pro audio mids. And then when you've got all those highs screaming in the car, you're going to need the bass. So our mono amplifiers are offered in 750, 1,000, 1,500, and 3,000 watts. So a ton of power available to get that bass in the trunk to keep up with those loud Pro audio mids up front. Cool thing about our amplifiers as well is all the mono amps are strappable. So you could strap 2 MOJO Pro 3000s to get, I even had it, we've done a check a couple of times, gets about 7,500 watts when you strap 2 of those together. So the versatility of power on the mono side really does allow you to get as much bass as you need if you've got 12 mids in the front of the car with your MOJO Pro 800.4 is screaming up there. So awesome looking, tons of power, and very good sounding amplifiers in the MOJO Pro amps.
A great selection of amplifiers in the MOJO Pro lineup to choose from. So system building, expansion, it's all there for you to build upon even the most basic system. Now, again, if you'll notice, I want to highlight how cool and old school those amps look. They literally look completely different from all the other amplifiers that Memphis currently offers. Now, one of the challenges when it comes to building a Pro audio system is that you're going to have amazing mids and highs. Of course, these things play loud, but guess what? You're going to want some bass to go with that, some lower frequency, but you're also going to need drivers that can keep up with those high frequencies. So what solution, Nick, have you guys come up with for subwoofers?
Yeah, Ben, you nailed it. When you've got those loud highs up front, you really need a good subwoofer to keep up, to balance that sound out. And that's what birthed the MOJO Pro subwoofers. So this subwoofer is a no frills, back to basics, boomy subwoofer. So you got that big foam surround that look is synonymous with big bass. Of course, you got the MOJO orange on the badge up front, the orange stitching. And then as we rotate to see the aluminum basket, you can see cosmetically it's awesome because it just looks like a bigger version of the MOJO Pro mid. You got 6 big holes that's direct venting those voice coils. So as you're pumping big power 750 RMS through this sub, It's getting the air to keep it cool, keep it efficient, and keep it from blowing up. So the Mojo Pro subs are incredibly loud. They are perfectly designed to complement the highs. And probably one of the coolest things is in about a week or two, we're going to have a Mojo Pro 8-inch shipping. So it gives you more versatility to get that bass in your car. And the coolest thing about the Mojo Pro 8, it's the same motor as the 12 and 15-inch Mojo Pro sub. So you're going to get a 12-inch motor in an 8-inch sub. So really allowing you to get the bass you need to keep up those highs, even if you don't have a ton of space. Very versatile lineup, very loud, awesome subwoofers.
And there you have it, a quick walkthrough on the extensive and versatile lineup that Memphis Audio provides for the Pro Audio customer. We talked about mid-ranges and tweeters. We talked about some unique solutions such as the MEMFUEGO box, of course the Mojo Pro amplifier old school look, as well as the Mojo subs that have a great aesthetic. And as you heard it right here, Nick just dropped it, an 8-inch version overbuilt with the same voice coil as the 12, coming to you really soon. Nick, wrap it up for us. What does the road and the path in the future of Pro Audio look like for Memphis Car Audio?
Yeah, the pro audio world is only getting bigger from here. So, I think the biggest thing I always say to tell our customers is don't be afraid of it. For some, it's new. For some that only heard it 8-10 years ago, they may not know how awesome pro audio is now. So for us, pro audio is an ever evolving, ever growing category as more and more customers are putting in their factory locations, as well as doing crazy, 13, 14 mid installs per door. We're committed to this category because number one, it's fun. Number two, it's bringing back old school car audio. And number three, it just sounds good.
That was Memphis Audio's president, Nick Lomonaco, joining us to talk about Pro Audio and their awesome mix of product. If you want more information about anything you've seen on today's show, make sure you hit up the official website. We'll put that on the screen right now. And if you happen to be tuning in from Canada, make sure you connect with the folks at Auto Mobility. They are the official distributor for all things Memphis Audio in Canada. Now, my takeaway from this, I think Nick nailed it on the head with his closing statement. Pro Audio is fun. If you haven't sold this product yet or you're hesitant, take a listen to the latest products, including, of course, the ones featured on today's show. These products are optimized for efficiency. That's right. You don't need a ton of power to get a lot of output from these things, and that solves a lot of people's problem. If you have the right customer, make sure you qualify them. Pro Audio might just be the solution for them. If there's a newer, younger customer coming in, maybe it's for their first system. Man, 2 mids, maybe a MEMFUEGO box, throw in there a Mojo Pro amp, and he's off to the races, showing off his system and being super excited about what he has. At the end of the day, if there's anything that's true, Memphis is definitely demonstrated they're committed to this category, and the fact that they have not only better and best, but also a wide breadth of product makes them an awesome potential partner for your pro audio needs. That's it for this CMA Connected, brought to you by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.